G'day and welcome to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and in this video I'll be taking a look at all the new reveals and tidbits of information for the new Book of Desolation, which will be coming out to accompany Hive Secundus Necromunda, which is real soon. So yeah, I'm well and truly on the hype train for Hive Secundus, as many of you are. I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on the box set, which I think goes on pre-order this weekend. But there is an article on the Warhammer community website of the 15th of July, which describes what is going to be in the new official expansion for Hive Secundus, and that is the Book of Desolation. The artwork on the front of the Book of Desolation is very similar to all the previous Necromunda books, a nice big hardback book with three sort of central figures illustrated on the front there. I'm trying to work out who the central figure is, so, you know, answers on a postcard please, but on the left there it looks like we've got one of the Vansar Archaeotech Hunters. On the right, we've got the, the guy who's responsible for the whole Malstrain thing kicking off in the first place. And that central figure as well, I think we've got a female-looking sort of maybe one of the ferrymen or another sort of hanger-on that we haven't seen any rules for so far. But let's just delve into some of the information and tidbits that we've got in this article, because there's a little bit to take away from this. There's some glorious pictures as well, some really nice-looking mid-game pictures of some Goliaths and Vansar and Genestealers all sort of fighting it out. So 4 gangs revealed in the Book of Desolation. The first one is the Malstrain gangs. So these are the ones that you get in the actual box set for Hive Secundus. So we're looking at Genestealer, Malstrain Corrupted Scum, and actual Malstrain Genestealers as well. So you can form a gang of those guys. And they have sort of what seems to be brute level tough Genestealers. So really hardcore. But yeah, it says sort of what they lack in options they make up for in brute strength and whatnot. You can also have a Malstrain Corrupted House Gang. And not just the House Gang either, but also Palanite Enforcers, Squats can all be Malstrain Corrupted, unlike your regular Genestealer Corrupted gangs. So it does make me think that perhaps the Malstrain Corruption is slightly different to the regular Genestealer Corruption. Again, I've said this in a previous video, I really hope that Genestealer Corrupted stuff and Malstrain Corrupted stuff is separate, and you do have those two different gangs facing off against each other, because I think in the lore, the regular Genestealer Corrupted guys are certainly going to be, pretty horrified about what's going on with the Malstrain in general. They're certainly not going to like each other too much or get on. So 2 of the gangs so far revealed are the Malstrain, pure sort of Malstrain, if you can say pure and Malstrain in the same sentence, and also Malstrain Corrupted gangs as well, which is really cool. But you can do, like I said, the 6 houses, Bad Zone Enforcers, Corpse Grinder Cults, and Palanite Enforcers are all worded here. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about Corpse Grinder Cults being Malstrain Corrupted, but sounds absolutely horrific to me. The next thing you've got, and we know about this a little bit already, is the Spire Hunting parties. So you can have a party of Spire Hunters, which is usually a selection of 3 or 4 fighters, equipped absolutely to the nines with all of the best gear. These guys are the super elite of Necromunda. We haven't got anything that rivals the amount of sort of eliteness, I suppose, of the Spire Hunting parties. Back in 95, if any of you remember, Spires were most definitely broken and very hard to play against. Let's see if they are indeed still like that, or if they're actually beatable. I'd like to think that, obviously being counterbalanced with the new Malstrain Genestealers, there is certainly some sort of level playing field between the two. Whether or not that translates to the other gangs and whatnot, or these two leave them behind, I guess we'll have to see. The other thing, though, is a Secundan Incursion gang, which is really cool. You can have a singular Spira leading a house gang, which is kind of similar to your sort of, outcast gangs being led by any sort of Dramatis Personae, or, well, quite frankly, anything in the game. This is quite similar, but you can have a single Spira of any kind leading your actual house gang as well, which is really cool. I like the idea of this a lot. So basically, you just replace your leader with that Spira, and away you go. It can be an Horus, a Yeld, a Jakara, or a Malkadon. One thing I have noticed originally in Outlanders, there were the 4 types of Spiras. So yeah, your Horus, your Yeld, your Jakara, and Malkadon. But I think later on they did actually release 1 or 2 other Spiras. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I remember there was one that looked a bit like Dr. Octagon, with some sort of not Dr. Octopus, sorry, not Dr. Octagon, with some tentacle sort of vibes going on. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure there were other types as well as those 4. The other thing as well, which is highlighted here, and this sounds awesome, especially because I've always been into classical mythology and history, is the Abyssal Ferrymen. Now, I have a feeling that that central character on the illustration on the front cover there might be one of those Abyssal Ferrymen. But when mustering your gang, these expert guides are essential to crossing the Dust Wall, similar to the River Styx, that the Abyssal Ferrymen. Just sounds really, really cool, including custom rig vehicles, war gear, weapons, and skills available. These guys are highly customizable fighters, and yeah, just it sounds really cool. I'm not going to go into all of the words and blurb on this, but there you go. You've got your tech hunters as well, which is another sort of like gang, you know, these are what you've got so far in the box set for Hive Secundus, but a little bit more detail is given here. Each is an expert with one of 4 fields: Augur Tech, Biotechnist, Gun Tech, or Technomat. See if you can work out what those 4 different fields are and what they mean. I imagine gun tech is pretty self-explanatory there. But these unlock access to advanced weapons and equipment, and perhaps most important of all, they sport a positively nippy movement characteristic of 5 inches, a rarity in Van Saar gangs. So the Tech Hunter is an extra Van Saar fighter somewhat, so it'd be interesting to know if we get similar versions of this extra fighter for each of the other house gangs. I presume we probably will, and I imagine going forward, obviously we've got Van Saar, you know, Archaeo Hunters in the box set for Hive Secundus. I imagine there'll be some sort of upgrade kit or extra box that we get for the other house gangs as well, which is similar to this. So there you go. You've also got the rules for the 3 recently revealed Dramatis Personae, which I've sort of highlighted in a previous video. You've got the Genestealer Malstrain Alpha. You've got the naughty Dark Mechanicus guy, who is the, you know, the absolute bastard of the whole thing, Hermiatus the Second Son. And you've also got Lady Hera in her upgraded and awesome looking form. So we've got rules for all those guys, as well as hangers on and whatnot as well. The actual campaign system that you get in the Secundus box apparently is pretty much a dungeon crawler 2-player campaign where the arbitrator plays the role of the Genestealer cults. I think it said it was 6 games, and you play a sort of narrative campaign. One player is playing the Archaeo dudes and the other one is playing the Genestealers. Sounds really cool. I'd love to play that through and maybe do a battle report on the whole thing. If you'd like to see that, then do let me know. So once I get my hands on a copy, maybe I can paint them up as quick as possible and actually go through that campaign. But the one that you get in the Book of Desolation, I think, is the Underhells campaign, and that sounds really good as well. We haven't got too many details on that yet, but it's just always great to have a new campaign system, and every single book they release pretty much has a different version of a campaign system in it. I think I should probably, you know, when this comes out, go back and do a roundup of all the different campaign systems as well, and just sort of explain the differences and which ones are best and which ones aren't, to be honest. But this one sounds awesome. I think the lore and everything that we've got so far for Hive Secundus is so far my favourite thing about the new version of Necromunda since 2018. I just think Hive Secundus is just badass. You know, let me know what you think about this. Are you excited about Hive Secundus and the new lore and the new setting and everything? Because I do think it is so much better than the Ash Wastes or even the Eranthian Succession as well. I just love the idea of it. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much more because I'm already waffling, but you can tell I'm excited about this release. So there'll be many, 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 many more videos very soon, all the different bits and bobs that we've got coming up for Hive Secundus. So that's it for now. Over and out.